No, but then the trailers are giving us like multiple variants, numbers of variants. So maybe the one we'll see isn't our Scott, but just a variant.
I'm not opposed to
a variant survivor.
Hello everyone.
Yeah,
Welcome to Nerd Bible Podcast episode 200 and we're going to say
37. I think
37?
36 was last.
Hello. Hello. Yes. 37.
I'm going to say 237.
Oh. I'm going to say 237 as well, and we are going to now confirm ourselves to be
denied access to YouTube.
238. Fuck.
Oh no.
So close.
Scheiße
von Lederhosen.
Yeah,
but
indeed.
welcome back one or for the first time, or God help you all. The Kang Dynasty
38th time
is almost upon us. Because at the time of release, we will be 1 week away.
1 week away from
One week in theaters.
Quantumania. Better than WrestleMania.
Jonathan Majors fucks a whole universe, and Paul Rudd watches
and suffers
with his pants on.
I don't have to die.
Do you know what I'm really looking forward to?
We just have to lose.
Do you know what I'm really looking forward to? I'm really looking forward to MODOK.
Corey Stoll's big giant head.
Yeah, that's a previous episode.
Yes, throwback.
We should say I'm George. That's Connor.
Yes, not
I
MODOK.
gesture, but you can't see.
No, not yet.
Oh God.
But yeah, MODOK. I hope they don't. I don't know. I kind of want
here
to see
for
MODOK, but I'm not here for Corey Stoll's MODOK.
No,
Yellow jacket MODOK.
No, do you know what I am?
Little
Because
bit.
I think it'll either be a variant or it'll be him driven man,
Insane.
and he's been,
the way that he got shrunk down from Ant-Man anyway, his body was all disjointed and conjointed when he went.
I think he's been found in the quantum realm and been turned into a harbinger on the side of I think Kang's basically made him his lapdog kind of thing. That's what I think.
Yeah, his weapon.
Weapon X. Not really.
Machine designed only for killing.
If MODOK had fucking claws come out, it's like, there's your Wolverine.
Jesus
Ballsy.
Christ.
No, but because I really love MODOK because he's a stupid villain.
He is a stupid villain.
I don't know about you.
Yeah, stupid.
But with villains, especially in comic books and comic book movies and other such media, you get your boo-hiss pantomime villains, like your big over-the-top, like
bombastic.
Yes.
I am World Dominator and I am going to destroy the universe, haha, because I can.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have the morally grey, sort of ambivalent, like big.
You
bad.
kind of sympathise with them. You get where they're coming from.
Yeah.
They've been through some tragic event, and you can kind of relate to in some ways.
And normally, like the low-level ones are the big, like stupid ones, and then the ones you got to take serious are the big ones.
Yeah.
But MODOK's quite a big villain in terms of the Marvel Universe, and I loved the MODOK TV show. Like, I love it. I wish we'd have got a second season.
Patton Oswalt should have played him.
Yeah, fuck Pip the Troll. Like, have him as MODOK.
Yeah.
Because they were obviously going to do their sort of little shared universe. But that captured the tone of it as like you can't take this seriously, so neither are we. Like, this is a guy, like, in the comics, George Tarleton, his
George
brain
Tarleton.
and head swelled to a ginormous size, so he has to facilitate a mode of transport for his tiny body and big head to get around, and he has his floating chair, and he's evil and has floating, firing, like, he's a genius, he's got some machinery powers, and he's making his live-action debut in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and that was the original concept art. When we saw that, we were kind of like, ugh.
What?
But the stuff from the trailer where you actually see him
Suit up.
Yeah, with his helmet.
Laser up.
Yeah, that looks more like him, like in terms of the face when he's got the gold plate. But I like when you see Corey Stoll's massive head.
Massive head.
I'm still into it. I really can't wait.
I'm not saying I'm not into it. It's just I would have preferred a George Tarleton kind of origin. Maybe not in this movie because he then would have had to explain who he was and why he was there. And
Yeah.
At least with Corey Stoll, it's visual reminder of
shorthand.
This is where he came from. You kind of know his story.
And then there's the previous relationship, so that then
you
there's
more beef
because it'll be the disdain between you're the reason I look like this, you bastard. But also, I think
I'm going to shrink you.
How many other characters can you introduce that are like really smart scientists that have something go wrong? Like, there's only so many of them
there's a handful already. Yeah,
and
true.
We've still got to do Reed Richards, so you got to kind of.
And Victor Von Doom before he got his face scarred and burnt.
And the thing I like about the MCU is they talk about Marvel, but
big surprise.
They've been very good with the MCU has been very good at streamlining everything that we need to know.
Yes.
And everything that needs to happen. So the shorthand for a lot of the early stuff, like Phase 1 and a bit into Phase 2, it came from the Tesseract.
Yes.
Like,
the blue gem that was in
at the time.
the
We
background
thought
of the
the
films.
twins got their powers from the Tesseract. Like the Tesseract was the MacGuffin for
All
the
the
majority
events.
of
Yeah.
Phase 1,
Mm.
and had a bit of that carry over into Phase 2 before they went, and here's the wider picture.
Yeah.
And where they've sort of, with some of the villains, they've sort of meshed, like, villains that would never see the light of day. You've kind of got, like, people of that name, and then people with power sets of other villains. They kind of, like, mashed the characters
And
together
yeah,
and
blended
stuff.
quite nicely. Yeah.
And it works because they're not going to adapt every single character that's ever been.
I mean, they can't for the
We're not
sake
gonna-
of media and possibility and contracts and money and actors and everything else. You just can't. It's not physically possible.
No. And are we realistically going to get a Glory Grant? No, we're not.
No.
We're going to get a Betty
No.
Brant. And that's it.
Glory Grant, Betty Brant.
Yeah. God, they love the alliteration.
That's a spin-off. That's a Disney Plus
Yeah,
series.
because Glory Grant replaced Betty Brant.
Right, in the Daily Bugle.
At the
I don't
Daily
know-
Bugle,
To
yeah.
be fair, I don't even know Glory Grant. I thought,
She is a vague love interest of Spider-Man.
right.
Similar similar to Betty, but sort of like less, sort of like, basically they had a fling for a while. But
Right, okay.
you just get
Fair
like
enough.
the image it just paints of J. Jonah Jameson is that he just hired her because he didn't really have to learn any new syllables for her name. He kind of was just like,
Glory Grant, you're hired.
yeah, you're similar to the last one. I'll just hire you. But yeah,
I made it. You sound like a star.
we're not gonna get every single character. Like, we get a lot as it is. Like the fact that M'Baku is a person that we cheered for when we saw him in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Like, I loved that bit when, like, he's there with all of T'Challa and, like, the Wakandan army and stuff like that. Like, these characters are names, but
Yeah.
you're not gonna get, like,
yeah.
I thought George Tarleton would have been adapted, but it still could be because they're, like you say, there is other universes, other timelines. Maybe we're going to see a actual
Maybe
George Tarleton
this is
MODOK.
going to be beta version of MODOK. See how the reception is, and then maybe down the line, whether it's another new superhero or a returning sequel, or maybe Ant-Man 4, you then do like proper George
Yeah.
Tarleton. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, it would also, like, it's weird because we've never been in a position where a character has had two completely
different counterparts.
Yes.
Yeah, like or variants.
Like, you've had Sam change from Falcon to Captain America, but
it's the same person.
apart from the burden of the weight of the name, that not a lot has changed because it's not his
No.
power set.
No, exactly. No.
Like, Darren Cross has obviously been completely distorted and is now,
He
tied
don't
to
know
this-
who reality.
because-
Who's to say how long he's been stuck in that quantum realm?
Yeah,
Stuck like that.
Yeah,
Mm.
and it's good. I like it, and it opens it. Like, we'll probably get another MODOK of some nature, whether
Yeah.
it be TV, whether it be film, whether it be in the upcoming Secret Wars finale. Now, do you know about this? Not that Secret Wars is happening. Obviously, you know about that.
That's no longer a secret.
There have been early discussions
Early
Marvel.
discussions. Right.
about the possibility,
Of
and I want to get your opinion on this.
sure, by all means.
About the possibility of splitting Secret Wars into two parts. So we would essentially get Kang Dynasty would be the prequel
Right.
to a two-part.
But
finale.
realistically, I can see that happening. Before you even sort of finish the sentence, I can kind of visualize that.
And do you know what? I thought when it was announced, it was like, cool, but that's one movie to do one of the biggest comic book events.
Two versions of events, like the original 80 versions with Battleworld, and then the more recent run, which I don't exactly know the differences, but essentially Secret Wars 2 did different things, and like you say, two different comic book properties of the same name in one movie. It's a bit much.
And it would raise the stakes from, like, obviously, like, how do you top Thanos?
Yeah,
You've
of
got to
course.
top it in your own way, and we're not getting an Avengers movie until Phase 6.
Until Kang Dynasty.
Like,
yeah.
we had an Avengers movie every phase, and Phase 3 we were lucky to have two of them. So Phase
Yeah,
4 we're not getting one,
unfortunate.
Phase 5 we're not getting one,
Yeah.
and then Phase 6 we get 3. So that will take us to 7 Avengers movies, possibly. Now here's why it makes sense.
Yeah.
Kang Dynasty is the third in the Phase 6 line, was it? Something like that?
At the time
It was
recording at
Fantastic
the minute,
Four,
I think.
another
Yeah,
one, and
yeah.
then Kang.
Sure, yes.
And then a
yeah.
couple, maybe 2 or 3, and
then Secret Wars.
or 3 or 4, something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
Secret
no, I'm with
Wars
you, I'm with
was
you, yeah.
either the end or it would have like a Spider-Man epilogue one
Thing.
kind of thing.
No, I'm sure Secret Wars at the minute is the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And naturally so.
Mhm.
And Secret Wars is a big thing. But now, this also fits with another thing that I've heard. I don't know if you've heard it. That everything...
Word on the street is...
everything
yeah.
that takes
Everything
takes
that
place post... Like basically from Kang Dynasty onwards.
right, okay.
everything takes place in Battleworld.
I did read that.
Yes. And
Yes.
that would give light to they're gonna maybe do two of them. Well, not two of them. It would be like Infinity War and Endgame. Infinity War was meant to be two parts.
Yeah, of course.
But then it was like the second part was like, yes, this is the same story, but also it's it's still its own film. It's not just a
variant of it. Yeah.
It's not like Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2.
No, it's not page to page, adaptation to adaptation. Like, yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they did when Secret Wars did two movies. Like the events were across two movies, but maybe then they ended up with different names. Like, I wouldn't be surprised in that, but they were still sort of that arc. Because obviously, to do Battleworld, Victor Von Doom, and having all the characters that you're going to have in it,
across both Secret Wars, yeah.
And two movies allows the breathing room for your core characters of your Avengers that have gotten back together and are a new team trying to take this down, because they're going to be trying to take down Kang in different variants and
ways.
Different times.
Yeah.
They're going to lose in Kang Dynasty.
Of course, yeah.
You're not then going to do the thing of then we do it all again in Secret Wars and
wrap it
all
all
like
up.
An Endgame. Yeah,
yeah. You can't do the same beat for beat. Yeah,
because you're either going to wrap it up and be left with Doom, or Battleworld's going to be part of or coming into existence in Kang Dynasty. Like Battleworld's like it's going to be a thing like that.
I agree with all of that. Yeah, no, I do. Yeah,
because I wouldn't expect them to, if they hadn't already, because they would have had to tease him. But like, I wouldn't expect him to have one movie with Victor Von Doom as,
no.
Here's all this stuff I've done.
Yes,
and now
this is everything I've done. You know who I am, and I'm evil. Yeah, it wouldn't work. It would not work.
But I'm up for it.
Despite the character.
I'm up for that, and it's a big finale, which will be, it'll be like, 8 years since
Endgame.
Endgame.
Right. Well, 2026 at the minute. But if they go to two-part route, it'd be a year-on-year gap, surely.
So, it'd be 8.
So 2027.
Like 8-9 years.
Yeah.
So,
which is enough time. I think that's enough time.
Stuff is always going to accelerate in terms of you making the money, so you're just going to pump it out, and they have sort of stepped it off the gas a little bit, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But naturally, it's not going to be another decade.
As Phase 4 has come to show, yeah.
When you get to, we're going to have 20 years, and we're going to have had hopefully two of the best finales to anything.
True.
And the DCU is going to just be sort of trotting along.
Awkwardly
I hope that does well
by a thread. Yeah.
But yeah. So I look forward to that.
I can see that happening though, because
we should do an episode like either this or like a separate thing where we go like what is your complete Phase 5? Like what is the gaps? Because they're apparently fast tracking a Doctor Strange 3 to happen before Secret Wars.
I mean, they've got 3 or 4 years at this point. So go ahead. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, because obviously he's going to be the main one dealing with that kind of stuff. Like he's kind of got to be the Tony Stark
of this run. Yeah,
like you're gonna have like Strange, Sam, Carol, presumably.
Yeah. Scarlet, Elizabeth Olsen, Scarlet.
Yes, like however she comes back into the fold, because obviously Scarlet Witch is a big part of
whether she's like a plot
Dr.
nexus device for Kang / Doom, or she redeems and is good, or whatever.
Imagine if like one of the portal things when they get people from other universes, and we get like all the old films before they were a linked thing, and when they were all separate rights. But imagine if we actually get bloody the Man Thing.
The Man Thing.
Come through and actually fight. Werewolf by Night, like all those things, like that's gonna
obscure properties that make people go, wait, I've not watched that, I've not seen this, what is this, what is life, baby don't hurt me, and then you'd be like, well, you idiot, that's why you have to subscribe to Disney Plus and watch everything, like we as a collective channel, we all do, because we love Marvel.
We love it.
And we love you.
We love Big Finish. We love Marvel.
We love Marvel.
They've announced some new box sets. A new series of
Christopher Eccleston
stuff.
Yeah, 9th series. I think series 3, because Adam Martin is in a upcoming box set, which I think is still labelled series 2.
Yes, yeah, because Adam Martin's someone that we've managed to,
at least been in the vicinity of.
Yeah, we've been around his
his aura,
his causal nexus space through our good friend Will.
Yeah,
because I saw that come up on the old Instagram, but that's going to be good. I do need to dip into Big Finish. Do I have the time? No. Do I have the money? No. Will I do it anyway? Probably at some point.
Maybe.
But
yes. Yeah.
Do you know what it is? Like the love for Doctor Who is on the up again.
Oh, it definitely is for me. I mean, I spent Doctor Who. Oh, I spent
Doctor
Who on my birthday. No, I spent my birthday watching Stolen Earth: Journey's End.
Did you?
I just randomly whacked it on and thought, yes, I had my fix of Marvel, I had my fix of wrestling, I had my fix of everything. Like, on my days off, I'd be like, I want a bit of this, I want a bit of that. And then I thought, you know what, I'm actually going to include Doctor Who in my life.
A pop culture
and then
buffet.
I ended up on my birthday watching the Romans with old, yes, William Hartnell, yes.
William Hartnell was in the room.
That
must be a challenge.
In the room.
So
Yes.
you watched your season 2 box set?
Yeah, the Romans, and I have to say that was quite a little thrilling escapade. I get why that one's popular.
Yeah. Rescue?
Good little story.
Not so much.
No. Yeah, we don't talk about that. We don't do that here.
We don't talk about the rescue, no.
No, but the Romans, I'm quite happy to have a intellectual conversation about 1960s TV. I think it was a good story.
Yeah, like, the thing is...
It's humorous, it's
real-
light-hearted.
The real shame about 62 is that we won't see it in a completed form, like, properly,
realistically,
ever, in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
This is probably the closest, like, ours is probably the closest we'll get with, you've got animated reconstructions,
These
whether
collection
they
sets, yeah.
include them on future box sets, which, so far this one hasn't, but...
No, but who's to say they can't then release, like, a separate animated steelbook to go with the rest that you've then bought?
It's just more space on a
It
shelf
is
I
more
don't
space.
fucking have!
I feel like, if anything, the collection's going forward... Brief tangent. I feel like if the collections are going forward, whether they do, like, all 6 of the seasons, and you're thinking, oh, are they going to animate them all, and then I feel like they will, for the sake of season 2, they will just reconstruct, telesnap them for the collection, and then for those that actually want to visualise and have a moving image of some kind, you'll then have to pay for the animations.
Yeah, maybe they feel like the animated ones aren't...
We'll
like,
do separately.
But surely if they're doing a box set with the animation ones that have come out years ago, hopefully they'll...
They will redo them. They will redo them. If they ever get redone.
If they ever get redone. They might start doing it because it's the anniversary year and there's more money going into it because of Disney. But
Russell T. Disney.
They were filming the Christmas special the other day in Bristol.
Yeah.
Because Millie Gibson, who plays Ruby Sunday, was heard on... So Anita Dobson was there, who was announced as part of the upcoming stuff. Ruby says to her, Merry Christmas, there's Christmas decorations about, and then she sees the TARDIS for what looks like the first time, because they've been filming Series 14...
Yeah, have.
But we hadn't known whether they'd filmed the Christmas special yet. We just assumed that they had first, because sometimes the production blocks line up like that. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes they can go a bit timey-wimey.
They filmed David's 3, filmed a bit of 14, and then they've probably come back to
reshoot and finish up stuff.
Or actually are doing it from now, so we don't know. But it's exciting to know that we've got 4 specials this year, 3 with David and Catherine.
Yeah.
One glorious one on Christmas, which presumably is around Christmas Day, because I know it's just the general term for the holiday. Like, you get a Christmas special.
Yeah.
But
no,
knowing Russell, I wouldn't be surprised if it is bang on Christmas Day.
7 p.m-ish.
And then we're going to get a fabulous new series in 2024.
2024.
And
the year of the Fantastic Four.
We'll have to, what spin-offs do you
Not
want to
anymore.
see? Torchwood. We can do it without John Barrowman.
Classier.
Yeah.
Bigger classroom.
It's just everyone from Class, but they've got monocles and top hats on.
Exactly.
A Sarah Jane Adventures type, because you're never going to be able to capture that.
Of course not. No.
Something with Ace and Unit, maybe.
Mm.
Because obviously we set that up at the end of Power of the Doctor. Something off-world. I'd like an off-world one.
Spacey
one.
one
that I'd like. Basically, I'd like Doctor Who's equivalent of the Mandalorian. Of this is the universe when the Doctor's not there.
Yeah, right. Whether you do some original idea and you make some likeable...
You
could do like a space torch with a space unit,
Space Word.
Space Word. Yeah, you could do like a unit type in space.
Unit in space. No, like, it'd be nice, wouldn't it, to sort of like, you can use like the old costumes, like be an excuse to restore some of them, like use some aliens that we've heard of before or not heard of. Make some
or haven't seen since the fucking 70s for some.
Yeah, create a world... for us that feels busy and wide and broad, and not have it reduced to these are the characters that we know in this era, and this will link everything together.
Nostalgic.
Because as much as I love the Paternoster gang in the Matt Smith era,
Matt Smith stuff,
they did kind of make the universe feel small when it was
with
like
Capaldi.
Here they are again. But then it's also weird that we get things of like, these people are so intrinsically linked to our lives, and we see them like every series for a few years, and then we'll never see them again.
Yeah.
You're like, are they still waiting in the Victorian times? Like, I would have loved not like I'm not saying like every series, but I'd like to check in on those kind of characters now and again. Like that's why at the time when we saw him, it was so nice to see Jack again, because it was kind of like
this has
someone
been time.
Someone who knows this world has existed, and someone that we haven't seen for a long time. What have they been up to?
Yeah.
Not in public, of course, because maybe
there's a time and a script and page. Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that anymore.
No.
But at the time, it was nice to see him.
Of course.
Like
it was a genuine reaction.
When Catherine Tate rocks up in the special, it's going to genuinely be nice to be like,
oh my
shit,
god,
what has Donna been up to?
Yeah, wow.
How is she? Where are
Donna
we in the
Temple
timeline?
Noble or Donna
Donna
Noble Temple or whatever.
No, Temple, it was Temple Noble.
Noble,
She can't be called Noble Temple. That sounds like a tourist spot. It's Temple Noble. Like we're gonna get that. We're gonna get to see like her family again as well. Like we get Sylvia and we get Wilf again one more time.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be good. Like those kind of things. Like to make if you do it all the time, then the world shrinks. It shrinks. Like when
it definitely shrinks.
It's like Rey being related to Palpatine. It makes the universe smaller. It's like when everyone wanted, Finn must be related to Mace Windu because that's the only other black guy in the Star Wars
whole
universe.
galaxy. Yeah.
These things make the universe small, because if you're only related to a Skywalker, Solo, or Palpatine, your universe is tiny.
Yeah.
Whereas one of the main reasons I love The Last Jedi is the fact that it's like,
you think it's going to be this?
There's people like this all over. Like anyone could be this. Like the whole message behind Into the Spider-Verse. Anyone can wear the mask.
Yeah,
you don't have to just be A, B, or C.
No.
Like it can be anyone out there, and there are probably and it essentially, without saying it, it's like there's a universe out there where it could be you that is doing this.
Yeah,
and that's what you want. You want to feel
included,
visceral, and part of it. Part of it. But yeah. That was nothing else Doctor Who related has really happened.
No,
I know that Russell's been doing his normal thing where anytime the Doctor Who account posts something on Instagram, he comments like, "What?
What's happened here?"
Like, are you looking for? Like, there was a clip of Series 4 when they meet again in the
What, him and Donna? Or
when in Partners in Crime, when they see each other through the windows.
Oh, you're doing that whole face conversation, like the mirror conversation. Yeah.
And it's like a bit like, how excited are you to see these two like back together in November? And Russell's like, they're what?
No way! What gave you that idea?
And stuff like that. I love Russell T Davies so much.
He's a gorgeous man. No, he is. He's
a beautiful soul.
Great guy.
Beautiful soul with beautiful morals.
Yeah. Indeed.
Just like, I don't know where this is going because I don't actually know what's next. The Marvel stuff, because we didn't finish saying it
again.
So
let's all have a Marvel.
Let's all look at the Marvels, not the film. It's not out yet. Let's talk about Vincent D'Onofrio.
What is he leaked out right
Daredevil
now?
Born Again is, in his words, inglorious deep prep to hopefully begin filming this month.
Oh,
because it's 24.
It is 2024, yeah.
And we're getting 16,000 episodes.
More than any other show ever, yeah.
It's nice that they're so up for it in terms of a thing of like, it feels similar, but also it's like, it's a completely new thing, so we can treat it as something new, but, bring back Foggy and fucking Karen Page, or else.
Or we riot.
Or
we
riot. Kill everyone.
Daredevil will kill the Marvel universe. Dead Devil will kill the Marvel universe. Yeah.
It'd be so nice. But I look forward to that so much, because I love Daredevil. Like, Daredevil is some of the best TV that we've had in a very long time.
Yeah.
Like,
season of last decade. Yeah.
Season 3 is sheer like poetry in motion. But I look forward to that. We'll see what happens with that. Bucky is apparently going to make a cameo in Captain America New World Order.
Good. There has to be some sort of acknowledgement.
Yeah, because they're still friends. They're still friends.
I don't know about Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie, though, in real life. That's a whole other rivalry. That's a whole multiverse war in itself. That's a whole multiverse war.
I love their fake beef while they're making that show. It's so good.
Yeah.
Especially when they would always dig at Tom Holland, like
that guy.
This guy sucks. Like, how many Falcon movies? Oh, they haven't made one. Good times. Did you know though that Zendaya wasn't actually on set for when they filmed the kissing scene?
Huh? So who? It was
So that was
entirely
just
done by CGI.
that was a stand-in in a green suit.
Wow.
Because she was filming Euphoria at the time.
Oh, had nothing to do with their relationship
We
status.
wasn't
Official.
expecting that.
No, I didn't know that wasn't real. I thought.
I know.
I've just pretty convincing.
I've just enlightened you. I have.
Interesting.
There will be fire ash people in Avatar 3.
Yes.
There will be an aggressive and volcanic race of Na'vi. Their leader is Varang, played by Una Chaplin. Una Chaplin, who is amazing in. I saw her in something recently. She was in Treason. She was Charlie Cox's wife.
Oh, in the Netflix series.
Because she was also Robb Stark's wife in Game of Thrones that got stabbed in the stomach.
Oh, wow, her.
And she is distantly related to Charlie Chaplin.
Oh.
She's a great actress.
Well, you know. Well, yeah, Robb Stark's wife. Hashtag justice for Robb Stark.
Hashtag justice for Robb Stark.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh.
On the subject of Robb Stark.
What's up with him? Is he not James Bond yet?
No. Oh, he needs to be. Like,
He has to be.
Like, if you go in, let's keep him white because we're boring, then the most fun you're going to have with it is someone like Richard Madden, Michael Fassbender. Something that's going to do something different, because Tom Hardy's not going to do anything different.
No.
Henry Cavill might, but, we're kind of, is it going to...
It's a bit of a safe bet.
He feels like a shot between the middle of Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig.
He does, yeah, he does.
Because Edgar Wright hit it on the head like a few months ago. It's like you kind of got to have a dark chocolate Bond and a milk chocolate Bond, and you've got to alternate it. You've got to have, the silly fun campiness and the suaveness, and then the dark gritty, which is why a lot of people have taken more to Timothy Dalton since Daniel Craig's been in the role.
Since Daniel Craig, yeah, of course.
And, the same thing with Majesties. Like, Majesties is a much darker story. Like, it has more of the tones of the Sean and the Roger stuff, because that's kind of the trajectory they were on. They were never a thing of, like, we need to change this because this
isn't working.
Yeah, it was always working for them, so why change it? It just got tired. It's like, especially with Roger, like, it was just...
It was kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Again.
They try the course correction in For Your Eyes Only, and then immediately go back, because it's like, this is plays to Roger's strengths. Had Dalton got a third Bond film, they would have been more people up for a darker Bond, and I think we're due a more milk chocolate Bond, shall we say. Like Aaron Taylor-Johnson would be fun.
Would you imagine GoldenEye, one of the best and acclaimed Bond movies of all time? No, shout out to Piers, but would you imagine a Timothy Dalton GoldenEye?
No, well, I think because it's probably the darkest out of the Pierce Brosnan oeuvre.
Hoover.
But I think it would obviously, like, it was obviously more suited to him because it had been 6 years, which at the time was a big gap between Bond films, but between, Spectre and No Time to Die, that's just the fucking basic.
But while we're on the subject of GoldenEye, have you checked out GoldenEye 007? On
no,
Xbox Series X? What? The Nintendo 64 game from 1997?
Yeah, the original version, not a reloaded or anything. It's the original one because it's on Game Pass, isn't it?
And technically Rare Replay if you own it as well. But no, you can install it separately. It's part of the Game Pass.
I will be playing that at some point. But yeah, I brought up Richard Madden because, so it was this person who tweeted, so guys, who do you have in mind to play James Gunn's Batman in Brave and the Bold? So some of the people here, I'm going to read out to you. I'll show you the one I don't know because I just don't know him. So we've got Jake Gyllenhaal.
I don't hate that. I'm sold already. Yeah.
Carl Urban.
Right. Yeah.
Richard Madden.
Yeah.
We've got... I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, show me him last.
I think I know who that guy is, because he was in Game of Thrones, I believe. I think that was the second Dario.
Right. No,
John Hamm.
I've seen him.
Everyone knows my Justice for John Hamm movement. Or Josh Brolin. And the ones I don't know him.
Jensen Ackles, Dean from Supernatural.
And
voiced the Red Hood in Batman Under the Red Hood. Yeah, Jensen Ackles.
That one?
And Soldier Boy from The Boys, season 3.
Ah, yes. I'm not good with names.
No, that's fine. That guy.
That guy.
There's something about that guy. I don't.
That says him. Haunting of Hill House.
Right. So let's Google that show.
And that is the second Dario, isn't it? That's the one that replaced
possibly
Ed Skeen.
Possibly. Then I'll search him up as well because I don't know their names.
But I feel like John Hamm, Josh Brolin, we're too old here. Carl Urban is on the precipice of that as well. I feel like
he's borderline. He's kind of like
he would work, but also he's kind of Ben Affleck age almost anyway. So it's kind of like you would. Obviously, he's not as old as Ben. Not that Ben Affleck's old.
No.
But I feel like a Richard Madden Batman. Yeah, because he would naturally be sillier. Yeah. Well, not sillier, but he would be less like dark than.
I think he would be an excellent Bruce Wayne. He's got Bruce Wayne written all over him, I think.
Yeah, but yeah, because they're all different. He would seem maybe more akin to like the Val Kilmer, like Playboy,
definitely Playboy
/ Christian Bale-ness. Whereas I think Patterson fits with the Michael Keaton thing of like this guy's a weirdo. There's no way this guy could be Batman.
Yeah, exactly. He does. Yeah,
like you've got to have the persona. Like same with Jake Gyllenhaal. Which would be weird because
depending on how they do his screenplay, he can give a performance and a half in whatever material he's given.
Jake Gyllenhaal is one of my favourite actors.
He's got such range. He can do either or. He could be like Playboy Bruce, but he could go dark and Nightcrawler, fucked up Batman, like if he wanted to.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So we'll have to maybe do
that's an interesting discussion. Yeah.
Because James Gunn the other day posted a picture of Superman like plummeting towards the clouds into the sky.
he did, didn't he? Yeah.
Because obviously he's still writing his Superman movie, and really enjoying it. Should he direct it? Possibly. I wouldn't want it to be a thing of like Zack Snyder of like you got to have like one like it's one voice. It's all got to fit one universe because he's been clear on.
No.
It's got to be the creator's like vision and voice.
Yeah.
But also fit within this world. Like the Marvel thing, what they learned after Edgar Wright walked away. It was kind of a thing of, here, Taika Waititi, do your stuff, and it will fit in the universe.
In the machine, the
like
MCU machine.
With the Russos, with Peyton Reed and things like that. Like after, the thing of, we don't have to just make it a formula and do it to our way.
You do your ingredients, and we'll blend it in our MCU machine with the blender.
It's not, I know there's still things of like, some people say, with reports on films that like you do this and this and this, and we've got people that can do your action stuff. Where you've had like Destin Daniel Cretton who came on board was like, no, if I'm on this, I'm across all of it. Like I want to see like the stunts, the visuals, and all that kind of stuff. So we shall see. Because I would be up for James Gunn maybe sort of doing like the Russell thing in Doctor Who. Does the first one.
Yeah, and then
maybe does the Justice League,
and then give it to someone else,
and have it like other people like doing it between, so that it still fits the thing. So
have it written by James Gunn or whatever, but then
I would have him like produce across all of them because he will be, but like have it a shared universe and voice, but it's it's your own song that you're singing in your movie. Like you're not limiting directors to like when Patty and James Wan they would like being like. All of our stuff was designed to fit in with Zach's vision. When that's not the best way to it.
No.
So we have news of so in terms of the casting stuff, because we've like James Gunn had said before, some stuff's true, some stuff's not true. Some people have their the option to come back. I think we kind of roughly know who will come back, and we'll probably have more of an idea after Shazam,
yeah.
I think when it gets to Flash, will kind of be a thing of like, oh, these guys are staying, these guys aren't.
Yeah. Do you think there could be a post-credit in Shazam to at least lead into the next movie?
I reckon it's going to be Black Adam, but from the back, so they can cast a body double because it's not going to be Dwayne Johnson.
No.
Jason Momoa is confirmed to return in the So this was a thing. Like this is pointing towards another character. I'm rambling. I'll just get on with it. So with Jason Momoa confirmed to be returning. Possibly as Aquaman for a third film, or as previously rumoured to become Lobo.
Yes.
Viola Davis also rumoured to return, which has obviously been confirmed because she's going to be in the Waller show.
Yeah.
Another actor that could be returning is Joe Manganiello.
Okay.
Possibly to reprise the role of Deathstroke, because he never really got to do it.
No.
Or possibly for another character in the DCU. Because Manganiello was talking about the unmade Affleck Batman movie.
Yeah.
It was a really dark story in which Deathstroke was like a shark or a horror movie villain. That was someone that was trying to dismantle Bruce's life from the inside out. It was a systematic thing. He killed everyone close to Bruce and destroyed his life to try and make him suffer because he felt that Bruce was responsible for something that had happened to him.
Right.
Which is For the people that everyone quotes as like, it's just like their version of Deadpool, but like dark,
revenge and gritting. Yeah,
but I think there is more to Deathstroke story-wise in terms of like he is a person, he's a mercenary, he's been through some shit. He's lost an eye.
He's lost an eye. Definitely lost an eye.
And he's kind of just done with some shit. But it would be nice to see Magniello like get the chance to do it. Because I'm re-listening to
two post-credit scene from two different timelines, slightly different between each other, and he ends up saying one of them he's like, "We'll make a league of our own," and the other one is, "Where's the Batman?
We'll unmake the league.
We'll kill the Batman."
Disassemble
and he never
the
got
league.
to do it. He never got to do it.
But we shall see. Maybe soon. Maybe not soon. I don't know. I'm torn between clean slate everyone and keep my favourites.
Yes, and keep the ones like Mangello, who I can't easily lie and say he's a favourite, because apart from Flash Thompson, I don't know the actor really. So when he was Deadpool, I was Deathstroke. I was kind of like, oh cool, I'll see it, and we never did.
And when when Ben Affleck was posting the videos of the screen tests and stuff when they were working on his Batman, I'm re-listening to Big Damn Cast from the beginning.
Okay.
Because I have like that thing that sometimes comes up on my my podcast app on my phone, of when stuff will be like however much of this episode left, but like when you do it, like the next one starts. So then, and I'm kind of OCD about that. So I was kind of just like, I'll just start from the beginning, and I'm gonna just go through all of them. And they're talking about like, we've just seen the stuff of like the Ben Affleck Batman movie, and it's just them talking about stuff that's like, wow, you were strangely accurate with that when that ended up coming out. Like talk about the Flash movie and things. And like, how you do the DCEU and things like that because it's 2016 is when they started.
When they started.
So it's like, some of this is eerily accurate, and it's like, and some of this is way
wrong.
Because at their point in the timeline, they've not had Transformers: The Last Night out yet.
Wow.
So yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
So
amazing.
It's great to re-listen to that kind of stuff with like a new thing, like as it would be listening to some of our opinions from like
10 years ago.
Nearly 5 years ago now.
Nearly 5. Yeah.
Like
Make it 10.
Us being really excited in episode 3 to go and watch
Guardians 3. Those years ago.
Because we talked about James Gunn getting sacked, and then episode 4 we went to see Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh wow.
5 years. A lot of podcast episodes between
5 years.
sequels.
God.
That's insane when you think about it.
I feel ancient now.
Has there already... I mean, the Spider-Man ones, but yeah, they were quick. Like, there was, 2 years? Because you don't really get that anymore. Like 2 or 3 is like a fucking... You're lucky.
Yeah, lucky, yeah.
But yeah, we've had... We've only had one Bond film.
No.
Which was No Time to Die.
No.
We didn't have any of the others.
No. We didn't, no.
The 2 Avengers films, that was only a year. So our biggest gap will be Avengers Endgame to Kang Dynasty.
We had one Star Wars film.
We did. We only had Rise of Skywalker. We did. Did we see Solo? Solo was that year.
It was that year.
I think
maybe we did see it.
We would maybe just after or just before Solo.
Yeah.
Because it came out that summer.
Mm.
Yeah, man. That's weird. How many DC films have we had out since we started? Let's check.
Aquaman, Shazam.
It was Aquaman, Shazam.
Birds of Prey?
Aquaman, Shazam. Birds of Prey.
Wonder Woman 84, which we didn't get to see because of the pandemic.
Wonder Woman 84, Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Snyder Cut.
And
Black Adam. That seems like
Bloody
a lot, but it's actually
hell.
not a lot.
That's not a lot at all.
How many films have we had? So we had Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Infinity War.
Captain Marvel. Avengers Endgame. Spider-Man Far From Home. Then Black Widow.
Yeah.
Then Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Then Eternals.
Yeah.
Then Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yep.
Then Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Then Thor Love and Thunder. And then Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And then literally this time next week we'll have Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
13. And the Cat and the Bat 8 series.
And
So
WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye. What was the first of 2022?
Every day I wake
yeah,
up.
every day I'm Moon Knight, then I want to be Miss Marvel, and then I'm gonna make out with the Hulk. What woman? She-Hulk. Yeah.
Like 8 shows.
Bloody
We've
hell.
not had and then the 2 thingy presentations.
Presentations, yeah, which I kind of forgot
Good
about.
times.
Jesus
Good
Christ.
times ahead. We're getting very reflective because it's 5 years and this year, and many things have changed. But we
Bloody hell.
will change again. It's time. It's time to change.
To
Joe.
regenerate. We've
They're-
renewed ourselves.
Because they were talking about all the like CW shows and stuff as well, and it's like, oh, you've got no
Oh,
idea
no.
what's coming. Which leads me on to
What's happening now?
The executive producer of The Flash was talking about what he would have done with season 10.
Ooh. Right.
So let me.
Flashpoint Rebirth. I don't know.
It was
Flashpoint Undone.
There was Green Lantern. So
Oh.
it would have adapted the Darkest Night.
Like bright.
Darkest
Darkest Night, Brightest Day.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. The storyline, and it
Mhm.
would have had not the first 3, but it would have had the 4th Green Lantern.
Okay. Ooh,
I forget his name. I
Hmm.
would find the video, but I don't want to also cut out the audio. So, and there would have been another arc at the beginning, and then and the finale of season 10, which would have probably been the end of the show,
Right.
was Despero would return to Earth with an alien army, an invasion, and the finale is Barry Allen going to the Hall of Justice and assembling the Justice League to fight Despero.
Wow.
And that would have been The Flash season 10.
Oh, fourth one. I think it's Jon Stewart.
Show me the thing.
Show
I think
you
I think
the
it was. So wait, who we got? It was either Carl Rayner or Simon Baz, the person on TikTok said.
Don't know who Simon Baz is. I'm not sure who Simon Baz is.
It's an unknown Green Lantern that they could have worked with.
But I
because
think
it
maybe
wasn't the
Carl
movie
Rayner,
one.
maybe Tim Drake, Nightwing, Green Lantern. I don't know.
Possibly.
Rogue Green
But
Lantern.
that sounds like a great.
That did sound like a
season 10.
great pitch.
And I'm not big into the CW shows because I was like, I like Green
Oh.
Arrow. Oh no,
not
they've made-
anymore.
Oh no, they've made
He is
Arrow
Green
Batman.
Man. Yeah, he's Green Man.
Green
Yeah.
Man. I like Legends of Tomorrow. That never got a fitting ending. I like the
No, I
the
never.
crossovers stuff.
Yeah, they were cool.
But they always felt like it was like, we've got to top ourselves more and more. Like, how do we do it? How do we do it? And then it was like, and now we've done this. We're cancelling all these because either we don't want to make them anymore, or we think James Gunn will just
Ratings.
cancel them anyway.
Yeah.
But no, like, I would love to see that season of the Flash, the Flash.
But who's to say like a variant timeline of that couldn't happen in Flashpoint
There was a
or Greenpoint?
maybe there was a
Green
picture
Point.
doing the rounds of when James Gunn and Peter Safran were doing their sort of presentation pitch. That like it was either people that are on the writing process or the production team was sitting in on stuff, and it basically had it up like a similar thing, like the similar timeline to like Marvel things. Like it just but it only included the ones they'd announced. There was probably more that they couldn't show, but legally they could show that because they've announced all those projects.
Right. Yeah, of course.
And someone was like, "This looks like a PowerPoint presentation in a media studies class." Because it was like in a small lecture space with like the projection on the screen and that. It's like, yeah, look, they're making moves, they're planning stuff. Like let them be, let them be. Because we've had a concrete confirmation of this is in this. So Shazam, Flash will be the reset. Aquaman will have the story leading in, but those are the last of the original DC.
The original
EU.
DCU timeline. Yeah.
And then you got the Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters with Brave and the Bold, Superman Legacy, Authority, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, The Swamp Thing, Creature Commandos, Waller, Lanterns, Paradise Lost and Booster Gold, all as TV shows. And then the Elseworld stuff is confirmed to be Joker, The Batman, Joker Volia de The Batman Part 2, Teen Titans Go, and for the moment, until it's cancelled, Superman and Lois, because it's not in the CW verse.
Not in the CW, no. It's just kind of awkwardly hanging adrift.
It was like, no, we're not in that universe now. And it's like, oh,
right.
okay then.
Wait, see myself out then.
I'll show myself out.
Yeah.
But we're excited at the prospect of the DCU
Of a potential
being-
cinematic universe on the rise.
and actually working. Because like we always say, competition
It's
makes
healthy.
Yeah, makes people improve and want to be better. Something that doesn't make people want to be better is Justin Roiland, because obviously still
Roiland.
sacked. Good for his various charges of domestic abuse and things like that. It's like, no, okay.
Oh, geez, Rick.
But something that co-workers of his have come out and said is that Justin Roiland has had no meaningful part of the creative presence in during any of his recent shows, including Rick and Morty. So he hasn't had a meaningful part of Rick and Morty since season 3.
Right.
So basically,
he hasn't had a big creative input.
So basically, season 1 and 2, when they're pushing like, we want to make this, we don't actually have this as our jobs. We're basically doing this to prove that we can be project. A good TV show. And then season 3 was when they went, and here you go, it's your full-time job. And then after season 3, they've got the 70 episodes or whatever. So it's still going to run to the end of the 70 episodes original agreement, like, 10 episodes for 7 seasons.
Per the dotted line. Yeah.
But former colleagues like that were close to him said they hadn't heard from him, like he was never part of the writers' room from season 4 onwards.
Right. Okay.
And the only time people would know he was in the building was if like they heard that his dogs or his remote control car that used to just drive up and down the offices, like he'd only be in mainly to record his lines. Right. He wouldn't be in to actually come in to see like
check
the
up
work
on the universe, that he was part of.
Yeah, and was a producer in, but obviously like it's now down to Dan Harmon and others. Like the thing that I've loved about Rick and Morty in recent seasons has been the fact that there has been more newer voices in there, because I think after season 4 and into was season 5 the first, there was the one in the pandemic, there was the split one, wasn't it? Some of that at the beginning, it felt like a bit, this is the regular people that make it, sort of doing a big fuck you to the audience, which was funny in some ways, but also it's like, are we running out of ideas? And the best way to not do that is to bring on a lot of new talent, and a lot of the people that are writing it have written for it for the first time, and some of those can become it's like with any TV show, like with Doctor Who, eventually the fans become the writers.
Russell
they do. Was a fan of it, he wrote it. Stephen Moffat was a fan, he wrote it. Like, you had these people that had loved the show and then come on board and had written episodes, and they were new voices and new ideas, and I like that it became the closest thing America has to like Red Dwarf, like anthology sci-fi,
right? Yeah,
with stupid premises that can take the piss out of itself.
Yeah, and be
self-aware. Like, there is a continuity if you want to assume, like, there's an overarch lightly which may tie into the last ever episode if that ever becomes a thing.
Yeah.
Or if it just goes on to be like a Simpsons Futurama style thing where it's just like, we're just going to keep doing this until they say stop.
Yeah, exactly.
But
there's no narrative.
I think that has been the greatest change, like in like the back end of season 5, and arguably like, there's some points in the beginning of season 5, but like back into season 5, season 6 as well. It's been like nice to see some new stuff, like, because you get the thing of like, we were making it like this in the early days, people like this, so we do it again. So like, why wouldn't you just keep doing that? But you've had people come on like, what if we made a Rick and Morty story about this thing?
Yeah, right.
And it's quite nice. It's been refreshing, and obviously he hasn't been that big of a miss in the writers' room or the production side of it, because
even that as an individual, it doesn't sound amazing anyway. The fact that he's not.
Yeah, people have been saying that maybe that's a sort of damage control technique to distance himself. Like, he's not been in the office probably for years anyway. Like, we barely see him. He's just in to record his lines. Yeah, that could be a control thing, but also it doesn't seem to be untrue, because the way he acts and his behaviour, as it's gotten bigger, as the show's gotten bigger, it's almost like he's sort of become Rick. Like, Rick isn't a nice character when you look at him and the way he acts. Like, Rick is a piece of shit that, especially in the earlier series, treats his family like shit.
Yeah.
He's happy to jump universes just because, like, a member of his family died, like, or because, like, they died in one universe, so we got to just, we've ruined this one, we'll jump into one where, like, we're dead in this one. And, he has sort of been the unconscious, or maybe consciously, like, just, he's always wanted a show like this, so maybe he's pushed that into the world, the fact that, there's been, like, we go back to the Szechuan sauce incident at McDonald's. They brought it back, but it was limited. And, you had riots in, like, American McDonald's chains where people would, like, after their Szechuan sauce, abusing staff just because they love this show. It's like, arsehole breeds arsehole.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree.
Kindness will breed kindness. But I think that we're hopefully from...
They're past that phase.
Because season 7 we're waiting for. Is it that one? So hopefully these next 4 seasons will end,
on a different creative path.
If these are the last ones, or if they carry on doing it, because a lot of people just said, maybe you should have just cut it there and said that's it. But hopefully they can do a bit.
It's a tricky one. It's a controversial one.
Hopefully they can do a sort of bit of turning the boat around, like dying down the fire, like putting out
die down the fire and then make a nice little rainbow, and make a little rainforest in the background, and make
and if you're and if that's gonna be the end of it, then you bring it out on a high and be like, you know what, this show wasn't all
highs,
dicks.
Yeah,
like we end on a good note. We don't end on a thing of like, and the guy was a piece of shit, beating up people and like abuse and apparently sending messages to underage people. No.
Fuck no. Jesus.
As much as it's just a TV show, there are hundreds of people's jobs
people on the line. Yeah. Lives are affected by this.
To provide for.
Yeah.
And why it's like, that shouldn't be an excuse. But
no.
if he's not part of it, then have him not be part
have
of
him
it
not
at
be
all.
there. No, have him not be there.
Sean Kelly needs to be Rick and Morty because he is the best impressionist by far that we have on the internet.
Yeah.
To do it, and I think it would that would be the seamless thing. Otherwise, if you have sort of like, I know where Simpsons and Family Guy have looked back on the fact that they haven't had good representation. I know this is like a weird, but in terms of, Carl's voice was by Hank Azaria.
Yeah.
And Hank Azaria is not an African American. And then with recent seasons, after the Problem with Apu documentary, I think it was in late 2017 or 2019. So it was one of those years.
Yeah.
And looking on the fact that he also voiced Apu, like who was like an Indian living in America, and obviously he's like, it seemed like it was just like the opposite of cultural appropriation. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but that kind of thing. Like it was, because most shows would just do that with voice actors. They would just be like, if it's one guy that can do all these voices, we'll employ him because it's one guy.
Yeah.
But they looked at that. They've recast Apu. They've recast Lenny by people who actually of that ethnicity. They've done the same with Cleveland in Family Guy.
Right.
Like, those kind of things are good and progressive and should happen. Not saying it's about like representation or whatever, but those voices are just like, that's actually letting someone who is that ethnicity voice that person. They're not trying to
please,
like the person who plays Carl is not trying to do a Hank Azaria impression.
No. Not what came before. Yeah.
Whereas someone like Rick and Morty, they could literally just drag and drop an impressionist into it.
You wouldn't know the difference. Yeah. People that don't use the internet like any of us wouldn't know the difference.
And then you cut him completely out of it, and that's what you want. But we are yet to see that. You saw some films though. One good one not so good one. 50-50 guess. Surprise us with the good one.
Knock at the Cabin of the Fablemans. No, so the Fablemans, the Best Picture nominee. Of course, it was going to be that one. No, I'll get the bad out of the way. I'll knock at Batista's Cabin, and whether or not he will let me in.
Was Batista good in it?
His most dramatic role, and I give respect, not to diss on Shyamalan's, M. Night Shyamalan's name, but
he's not really made any good movies
since Split, in my mind. I liked Old, but I weren't a fan of the big twist. No, I kind of forgotten it, but I remember the ending more than the movie, if that makes sense. Glass, I remember the majority of the movie, but actually, no, that's a lie. I remember the ending more than anything. And
I remember going to watch the movie and us just being like,
what? Appalled. No, but Old I liked, but again hasn't stuck with me. Glass, bad memories. I will return to it one day. And then Split, I rewatched because of how Knock at the Cabin was. I needed to knock into my Split consciousness and remind myself of why I like Shyamalan. Because Knock at the Cabin, for me, it's ultimately a drama more than a thriller/horror, and I get it's in a semi-realistic situation where these 4 people knock at your cabin, and they do tell you basically you basically have to kill yourselves or the world's going to end. And of course, the real reactions in the performances amongst the cast are in this movie, and there's not one sort of as the movie goes on, there are the odd screenplay that would not happen, that was just stupid, but it's a piece of media. You are going to have some deviations from reality in some way. It's just part of a script. It's a part of the paper. But for the majority of the runtime, it was very realistic performances, and I respect everyone not to name them all, but Batista. I mean, it's Dave Batista. I mean, that guy was the reason I went to see it. At the end of the day, regardless if it was M Night Shyamalan, I saw Batista and thought, "Oh, cool, seeing it." Everyone did realistic things. The screenplay could have gone either way, whether it was the world was going to end or the world isn't. I'm not going to, this isn't a spoiler review, I'm not going to tell you anything about the movie in particular, but especially whatever way of the boat the movie plays out on, it does conclude, it has an ending, it has a twist. But as far as Shyamalan goes...
Is it his best twist?
It's in the marketing. You really don't have to think about it. It's there in front of you. It isn't a twist. To me, it wasn't a twist. And we were kind of waiting for, it's like telling a one-liner joke. You're kind of waiting for the punchline. And then you're kind of wait, is that it? It was just really, appalling in that sense, for me personally. I've seen a lot of good reception for it online. A lot of YouTubers I watch have, personally given it a lot of performances. And then it says, Shyamalan still captures his spirit. And, this is why I go to the theatre to see his movies. But
why do we go to the cinema?
But not for me really. It was a good drama, and I respect the cast and respect the performances. And as far as Batista goes, I mean, we've kind of I've raved about him before in the past, but this is his most real, serious, dramatic performance the guy has done yet. And it isn't. There's maybe one speck of comedy in one scene which we all laughed at, but other than that, he's serious, monotone, quite bleak for the majority of the film, and he's really impressive because again he's showing his range as a performer. So I give Batista special props because it's Batista, but everyone else in the movie did really good. The young girl in it, the daughter. I will get the cast up just because of acknowledgement. I wouldn't say it's a complete waste of time, the movie. It's just if you're expecting a horror thriller, not really. It's just more of a drama set in one location. You get the odd flashback, you get a bit of backstory with the family characters, and you kind of understand some more motivations behind some of the decisions in the movie, but again, it's not exactly what you'd pitch it to be if you saw the trailer. But again, that's not in a disrespectful way, it's just it wasn't what it cracked out to be for me personally. And it was one that me and our friends kept discussing in the car park for ages, and we were just kind of did we actually enjoy that? We respect it. It's a fine production, and it's probably one of the better cinematography wise. I think it's really shot brilliantly, and every shot was with purpose and meticulously and expertly crafted. But was it a fun movie? Not really. Not just because of its premise and how bleak it was, but did I say I enjoyed it? No. But that's because there wasn't enough actions to grip the audience. There was a lot of long conversations and some twists and some hints in the dialogue where you're like, oh, is it this? Is it? It keeps you thinking. It keeps you on the dot. It's a thriller in that sense. It keeps you guessing until right at the end. And it weren't Glass where it pissed me off and made me go, what the fuck was that? That was a waste of time. It was fine, but I was expecting more of a punchline, more of a go on, then give me the big spoonful at the end, and it just never came. The spoon just got chucked in the sink, and you just had to sort of think, eat it with your hands. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a really good analogy. I like that.
It's got even now, it's got positive reviews, and it's already grossed 21 million worldwide. But I don't know. It left a big void empty for me. So I would go and see it out of curiosity. It's just less scary than the trailer makes it out to be. But Batista, big shout out to Batista. Jonathan Groff, Ben Aldridge, I'm trying to get the girl, Kristen. I'm butcher her name, but Kristen Cui as basically the young Asian girl protagonist character in the movie, along with Jonathan Groff and Ben Aldridge. Bloody hell, Ron Weasley. He only had maybe 5 lines in the film. That's a bit of a spoiler.
Was it nice to see Rupert Grint in something?
I mean, he was American. No, he was American. Sorry, he wasn't there. He was American in it, and it was kind of the weirdest accent I've heard. It wasn't. It was interesting to see him, but I wouldn't say it was nice. It was kind of weird. Again, that's a nostalgic connection. If you don't know Rupert Grint, if you haven't somehow come across Harry Potter or Hogwarts in your life, then you're not going to look at him and go, oh my god, That's the kid from Knock at the Cabin. You're not going to go, oh my god, that's him as a child.
It's the Knock at the Cabin kid.
As a young child. No, he's forever Ron Weasley, and bloody hell, he was in the film.
Bloody hell.
Bloody hell, he was in it. That's all I can say. He was in it.
It's not anywhere near the top of your list at the moment.
No, it's just kind of... It's not at the bottom, but it's not in the good half.
It's just slowly floating down like a feather.
It's just kind of there.
So talk about the good one for a bit, to end on.
The Spielbergs, no, the Fablemans, aka the Steven Spielberg story. I'll call it that. Essentially, the film is up for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, I think supporting actor as well. All the nominations. I think I want to say 11, but that's everything everywhere. I don't know how many nominations, but it's one of the Oscar Best Picture films. So, of course, I'm working my way through them. And Fablemans, the Steven Spielberg story, essentially is more family drama than I was expecting. Coming of age in the second act, like second to third act. Originally, the film, to me, the marketing was essentially, this is why I go to cinema, and this is why I decided to make films, like the movie. But then reading upon the fact that this is based on Spielberg's like first years into filmhood, like quote unquote, and parts of early childhood.
Yeah.
What part is fiction? What part is reality?
It blends in.
Yeah, fairly well done. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like 70% of it is fake, but it's still a compelling, realistic story either way. It's a period piece set in the 1950s. Over the span of, I think the movie ends in mid-55, so it is across 5 years-ish, 5 years. And essentially, it's a family drama around, like, the kid, young Stephen, I'll call him, young Stephen. So does he change the names of the characters? Is it not? I mean, yeah, they're not the Spielbergs. Like the young Sammy Fableman. But the family are the Fablemans. But essentially, he is the Spielbergs.
Like a pseudo autobiography style.
Very much so.
How is Paul Dano in this? As his dad?
So I think out of all of them, he's the only one that's not up for the best nomination. And I think he...
Can you see why or not?
Can I see why?
No, as in like when you watch the film, you get why he's not.
I believe so. He's very fine. He's above average. He's in a Spielberg production, so he's still on top form.
Yeah.
It's just, I think nominations-wise, it's Michelle Williams, like obviously Best Picture, Best Editing. Oh, hang on, he just told me what it's up for nomination. Yeah. Alright, so Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress for Michelle Williams, Best Supporting Actor for, is it Judd Hirsch? Yeah, Judd Hirsch, who, again, is in the movie in smaller chunks, but his impact is there, felt throughout. Not just for the story, but his performance is just kind of there. It's a crowd pleasing. You're like, yeah, I get it. But out of everyone, I thought it was more nominations actor-wise than that, but really it's only Michelle Williams and Judd. But yeah, Michelle Williams, I think, is a good pick if she was to get it.
Oh, cool.
She was, like, you know, to quote the kind of cinematic perfection because of the way, not just the movie is shot, but the way young Stephen films her and the way he recreates these shots. Because this is a movie within a movie.
Yeah.
He's kind of essentially, the family goes on a family trip. He's basically capturing the highs and the lows of family life. And he's capturing these moments of cinema. The movie starts off with, like, baby Stephen playing with train sets, and essentially he gets these train tracks to crash, and essentially he, as we are in the audience meant to feel, like when we all go to watch the cinema and we all watch movies, we all feel a certain way. You want to recreate like moments and passions and oomphs. There's just a special kind of something. And so from inception, from young baby Stephen, I call him, like he felt it with these train tracks, and from then he knew he got given the camera like the following birthday, and he was always behind the camera making lens and literally pulling reels out and putting them in and editing them to make it one moving feature length thing. So the film's a lot about that. He goes on these family trips and he films a lot of his parents and family and just normal day-to-day life. But in the power of film, he can see the hidden cracks in his family life. And it goes very deep into how, again, we as young family members might perceive our family. I mean, not to aim at you, the audience, but like we as youngsters might perceive things differently, but through another lens, pun intended, you can see how life can be viewed in some ways, but not from another angle and another perspective. Like it does go, and this is like a teenage child. Spielberg, I'll call him, does grow up, and the movie does transcend into like a typical coming of age, like Breakfast Club high school movie, where he has no friends, he's the awkward geeky nerd. He gets picked on, he tries to get the girl, but the girl's not interested in him, and and like he's kind of the misfit. But his mum's telling him to just follow your heart and carry on, like with us, carry on, do what you want to do and achieve your dreams and do whatever you do to get it. And then you have Paul Dano Daddy, who is essentially, do your grades, get a job and make money like me. Yeah. And then in the middle of that, you have Seth Rogen, who only does one of his like laugh. And he's like I'm surprised really he wasn't up for any sort of mention, because I thought he was really good in it. But he's kind of like the family friend who, again, through the cinematic lens that the son films them all, he can kind of sense that there's a hidden chemistry between the mum and Seth Rogen. Whereas he's, again, he can't go, he can't fuck up because he's got 3 other sisters and they're all younger than him. So you don't really want to affect the family life between mum and dad, where really it should be mum and Seth, at least according to the camera. So it kind of goes down that route, and there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of conflicting opinions, kind of like every MCU villain. You kind of understand their like, there's not a clear villain in this, but you kind of understand everyone's point of view and why things are the way they are. And, as a young kid, you see things one way, and you might hate people for what they do at one point, but then in years to come, you kind of understand why things the way they were and how it can affect other people. So it goes really all over the place, like emotionally. You really do you are like on a roller coaster Spielberg ride where you're like, oh my god, the highs, the lows, the cheers, the boos, and you kind of do get soaked up in it.
Yeah.
And like I really wasn't expecting it from a film, like from the trailers. It looks like this is why I go to the cinema, and this is why I love film. That's what I thought the film was going to be.com, but it's more than that.
Yeah.
And it's a real roller coaster of a movie. It's not a lot of lows, but you are all over the place. It was just a really good drama. I don't know how often it'd be one I'd go back to, but in terms of films in the 2022 season worldwide that were definitely like unique, this one definitely stands out, and I get why the Academy would look at something like this and go, we've got to give this some sort of love.
Yeah.
Because essentially this is Spielberg's love letter to
his life,
why he did it. Yeah. Who, again, they both passed away in 2017, and I think the dad was 2020, or either way around.
Oh.
So it's kind of in memory to his parents.
I like that he's in the part of his career where he's just like, I
reflecting.
I want to make what I want to make.
And even...
I don't have to make big shit anymore.
If you see the film in cinema, he even thanks the audience for coming out to the theatre and see it in the communal atmosphere that we all go and love. So it was a really nice, touching, like, prequel prologue message from him himself, which of course you don't get a lot in theatres anyway, but it was just nice that he was like, thank you for coming out to see my movie, it means a lot, like, cliche message. But I was like, oh, so this set me off in the right mood, like, right off the bat. I was like, that was nice.
Right off the bat, man. That's cool. So go and check out
The Fablemans, yeah.
And maybe check out Knock at the Cabin if you're intrigued.
Yeah. Maybe a drink or two might make it better.
There you go. That's
yeah.
Connor's suggestion. But what I suggest we do now is we wrap up this episode and go and watch, just dropped on Disney Plus.
What's just dropped on Disney Plus?
The assembled episode for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Oh! Shut the front door.
Mike has just sent a message. So Mike's, I don't know if you're
Oh my goodness.
So Mike's on Discord. He had this thing where, like, he did this live episode of his podcast. But then has got like sub Discords, like subreddits for like each thing. So he's got like Marvel ones, DC ones, Star Trek stuff. Right. Like I'm in all of them, so I get on average like 7,000 Discord notifications a day. Okay. But he literally just said the assembled documentary for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is up now on Disney Plus for those who might be interested. That was 6 minutes ago.
That's cool.
So thank you, Michael.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Because I really want to know the behind the scenes on that one, and it's probably going to make us cry.
Very much so.
Yeah. But thank you guys for not crying at the sheer pointlessness of another episode of Nerd Bible Podcast. Thank you for watching, listening, absorbing in any way that you choose. In your ears, eyes, mouth, nose, head, shoulders, knees and toes.
Do the hokey cokey and turn around if you feel like it.
That's what it's all about. Why can we get Matt Berry to do some nursery rhymes? Ba ba,
Get
black
him to be
sheep.
Modark.
Have you any wool? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags full. You really are the most devious sheep in New York City.
No, Clayface.
Clayface Mark.
Mark Berry. That's Mark Strong from another. That's another variant. That's a variant.
Matt Berry as Mark Strong as MODOK.
Jesus. Oh no.
If you want to get in contact with us throughout the week, you can send an electronic mail
to nerdbiblecontact@gmail.com.
And you can follow
Pacey Sheep across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and especially the TikToks.
And especially the TikTokies, yes.
The TikTokies.
I want to get you in the TikTokies. You know what the TikTokies are going to make you a star, kid. See?
Oh yes.
And we will be back next time for... well, we won't have seen... Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. That will be the week after.
2 weeks. 14 days for you.
We'll do, because we never really spoke about... We've done like the MCU retrospectives.
But now... we're going to look forward.
We could do the Phase 4 one now, can't we?
Guess we could.
We did like Phase 1 week, Phase 2, and then we did like a year and a half and did Phase 3. But we can do the Phase 4. We will do an Ant-Man double bill. So if you want to get your stuff in at the stuff that Connor said for the first 2 Ant-Man films and what you're excited for Ant-Man 3 / Kang Dynasty.
Ant-Man 3 / Kang Dynasty.
And any Jonathan Majors level stuff.
Yeah, any Jonathan Major recommendations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get them into us before next week, and we shall talk about them on the interwebs. But until then, everyone, so long for now, and we'll see you next week.
For the Dynasty, baby. The Quantumania-sized Dynasty.